Serial Experiments Lain. In the same vein as Shinsekai Yori, there's a lot of elements to the story that could be spoiled for you, so I'll try my best not to spoil anything in the premise or in the review. And since we're on the topic, the simplified premise of Serial Experiments Lain follows this girl by the name of Lain, who's this 8th grade girl. She's a very average girl who gets drawn into the world known as The Wired. And it's basically following her and the crazy situations that she gets into. So I was recommended to watch this anime by one of my subscribers, Gabriel Sibaha Retina. I hope I pronounced that right. And also you all voted for this anime to be the last anime I reviewed in the month of January. And I've been hearing so much about Serial Experiments Lain, like, oh my god, this anime is amazing, it's crazy. And I personally have to say, this is the most polarizing and confusing anime I have ever seen. And that's as truthful as I can be, guys, because I'm not gonna lie to you when I say I had no idea what was going on in this entire anime. I was lost throughout this entire anime about what was the story, what was going on. I had no clue. And I bet some of you are going to be typing in the comments now, oh Tony, you just don't get it, you're so stupid. Well, I guess I'm stupid because I had no idea what was going on in this anime. Now that does not mean I hated this anime. Do not misinterpret my confusion for hatred, because honestly I found a lot of things in this anime rather intriguing. First off, the concept itself is very intriguing. I mean, it's about this girl who gets sucked into the world of The Wired, and honestly, it's just like how the world is today. There are people that are always glued to their computer screens, and I found the concept rather intriguing, and what happens to her throughout the entire anime very intriguing. Although I can't really say what happens because, again, spoilers. But if you've seen the anime, you know what I'm talking about when I say that some of the situations that she gets into is very intriguing. And speaking of her, let's talk about our main character, Lain. Now I'm gonna be shallow in 3, 2, 1. I think Lain is freaking cute as hell. She's probably one of the cutest anime characters I've ever seen. The minute that I saw her, I fell in love with her. She was cute. God, I sound like a creeper more and more every day. Tragic. But yeah, her character by definition is very interesting, especially as the series progresses. You start to learn more and more about who and what she is, which was very interesting to me. And she did have kind of this relationship with this other girl named Arisu, although it wasn't as developed, although I did like their friendship. Now the animation was nothing outstanding. In fact, it resorted to recycled animation most of the time, which I freaking hate. But I also have to take into consideration the time that it came out. It came out in 1998 if I'm correct. So in that, I give the animation some leeway because the animation has not been perfected to that point, and that's what they had to rely on. But for what they did a really good job, although I freaking hate recycled animation, which is used prevalently in this anime. And lastly, I really enjoyed the opening theme of the anime. I mean, it had this really 90s tone to it, like a song you would hear Alanis Morissette sing. I mean, it was pretty catchy. I really liked it. But even with all those things considered, I still had a lot of problems with this anime. The biggest and probably the only problem that really is significant in this anime is that this anime is very confusing. And I feel like it's confusing on purpose. Like they withhold information from you and don't expand on other characters. I had 1,001 questions by the end of this anime that were never really answered. Now I said I wasn't going to spoil anything for you guys in this review, and I will keep myself to my word, but I thought I'd present you guys with a few of the questions that I had by the end of this anime that still confuse me right now. First off, who is Lain? What is her purpose? Who are her parents? What are their purpose? What are the knights and what is their purpose in the story, and what did they contribute to The Wire? These are a bunch of questions that I had throughout the entire anime that never really get answered. Most of the characters in the anime are very one-dimensional. They really don't go through any sort of development, but I don't think this anime really was focusing on all the characters, more or less maybe one character or even just the overarching story that ties all these characters together. together doesn't excuse the fact that most of the characters are kind of bland and forgettable. And my last gripe about this anime is its ending, and I know I can't go into deep detail about what happens in the ending, but I will just say this: I felt like it was a total cop-out. I mean, after sitting and watching almost 13 episodes of the most confusing anime I've ever seen, the fact that I really don't get any resolution or understanding of what happens kinda disappoints me. I mean, there was sort of a resolution at the end, but personally I didn't like it. And with that being said, although I did find the concept of the anime very interesting, and I did like the main character Lain and the opening theme, it doesn't change the fact that I was confused throughout this entire anime, which really sucked me out of the anime. If I can't really attach myself to the story that's happening or to the characters' dilemmas, then I'm not really gonna care about the anime that much. It is without a doubt the most confusing anime I've ever seen, and it's straight up an experimental anime. When I was watching this anime, I got the feeling that I was watching like a movie like Pi, which is an experimental film made by Darren Aronofsky. That's what it gave me, that feeling of an experimental film. So personally, I'm not a big fan of experimental films, so with that being said, my overall grade for this anime is a 3 out of 5 stars. It's okay. It really comes down to personal taste. If you're a fan of experimental type animes and movies, you probably might get a kick out of this anime. But if you're a person that requires a little bit more understanding of what's going on in an anime, this might not be your cup of tea. You might want to skip it. But anyway, what did you guys think of this anime? Did you like it a lot? Or did you find it as confusing as I did? And did you understand what was going on in Serial Experiments Lain? If you did, don't hesitate to comment below and tell me, because I really want to know what the hell was going on in this anime. And also, let me know, what is the most confusing anime you've ever seen? Comment below and let me know.